Hey guys, good morning. So I know that I still have one reading left, and I feel like everything happens in divine timing. So I was gonna do that reading, but this morning I just had a lot of thoughts come to my mind, and I wanted to share them, and I wanted to do a twin flame reading. So I've been going through a lot of different experiences lately that have brought up a lot of triggers that I think are very important to kind of talk about on the twin flame journey. So as I was like watching a video this morning, I thought about how it's interesting because in the process of ascending myself and working on my own healing, things have come up that are not exactly directly what I'm trying to heal, but in these situations where I'm interacting with people and I'm having things that trigger me, it's ending up healing other parts that I wasn't even focusing on just by realizing where my triggers are and where my resistance is. So before I start, I just want to say that a big thing when you're on any kind of journey where you feel very much like your spiritual path is calling you in a certain direction, and there's a certain like, I want to say hole, I don't even like that word, but there's a certain portal to which you are getting your information from, like a certain focus that you have where the light is kind of getting in, and it's kind of where like Rumi says, like the wound is where the light comes in, but there's a certain wound that keeps bringing you to certain situations that's actually what's causing your healing. But it's funny because that wound is the one thing that everyone wants you to kind of forget about, but they don't realize that that wound is what's driving your healing process. It's really important for you to stay focused on your journey as you know it, and keep, like, if it's like a door that you're trying to open, and I'm not talking about in your 3D realm, in the 5D realm of like a door mentally or spiritually or emotionally that you're trying to knock on, that just there's something that you just want to open but you can't seem to open it, and everyone's telling you, oh, go to a different door, but it's only through not trying to knock on that door that you're actually even talking to these people. Then you have to remember what's calling you, and even if you're getting assistance from the most like well-intentioned people, there has to be something calling your spirit. That's even why you're even interacting with these people. So don't forget that you're driven by your own light and your own desire to seek resolution to a certain thing, and that it's okay if everyone disagrees. So that's like a big part of the twin flame journey, is that the most people are going to disagree, and the more people tell you to not believe in something, and the more resistance you feel, that resistance is a clue to some of your healing, but also a clue that part of your lesson is not being swayed by other people's opinions and learning to follow your own inner light. And that's like a big thing for me because I am a hermit personality and soul card in the tarot, and the hermit has like their lantern and they're like kind of lighting their own way, but they're seeking knowledge through advisors and mentors, and they are gathering a lot of information about their soul, but a lot of it ends up being an inward journey that they have to find the answers themselves. So everything on the outside is sort of like external clues, but really the answers are within. So I kind of wanted to talk about, I'm just going to do a twin flame reading today. And what I want to kind of focus on is, first I'm going to just talk about what each, the divine feminine is focusing on right now, and then what the divine masculine is focusing on, and then what is maybe like hindering or assisting them in their union. So first I'm still waiting on some decks that I actually wanted to focus more on twin flame readings with, but for now I'm going to use this Aquarian deck, the Alice in Wonderland deck, and the Wanderer's Tarot deck. So I'm just gonna kind of do a little energy clearing. and see, okay, so what is the Divine Feminine working on right now? I just got an 8 of Wands here, but reversed. Could be a clue, but I'm just going to keep shuffling because I didn't shuffle enough. So I just want to see what the Divine Feminine's focus is right now, or what they're working on. Two of Cups. See if I can get one more card here. And you know what? I'm going to just say the timestamp for my reading was about 5 minutes. So in case some of you want to... I got a lot of cards here, but I'm going to take them because I just want to. Okay. So the Two of Cups here. After that, I don't remember which one it was. Okay, but I have a 5 of Cups, a 3 of Wands, a 7 of Swords, a 10 of Swords, and a 6 of Pentacles. It's 5 of Cups. Get the 5 of Cups a lot when it comes to twin flame readings. 3 of Wands, 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and 6 of Pentacles. So I feel like a big struggle of the Divine Feminine right now is believing in this connection. I think a lot of it comes down to actually a feeling like they deserve their person, their Divine Masculine. They deserve to have a connection. They deserve this like joy and this love that comes from the Cups. It's the struggle of actually being able to view themselves in a union with this person and feeling like it's something that they could actually envision themselves, because they've kind of been feeling really like alone on this journey for a really long time. And even though in their heart of hearts they want to believe in this connection, they want to believe in their Divine Masculine and their union, they are struggling, I feel like, with actually feeling like they can bring the union into the 3D from the 5D, and also struggling whether they're on the same page as the person, or whether they will ever be on the same page, and whether there will be like a partnership where they're going at this journey together instead of going alone. So the Two of Cups is like the ultimate soulmate connection card. And as my question was what they're working on right now, as I also feel like they're working on being like preparing themselves for that partnership, becoming the ultimate Divine Feminine, so they can be this. I mean, I actually really love this Two of Cups in this deck, because it's just to me it's very actually like serene and connected, but it's not like this overwhelmingly like intense strife-filled connection. It's very like eye-to-eye, calm, partnership, balanced kind of connection here. So I feel like that is what they're working on, is becoming their side of the bargain, so the Divine Masculine can step up and also be able, and as she is working on balancing herself, because we do have a 6 of Pentacles here, he's able to energetically shift into someone who becomes more balanced and can play her divine counterpart. Now, like, as I'm doing this reading, my energy is, I'm getting this download of this resistance that I feel like you guys feel. It's a lot of fear, because I feel like there's been a lot of what seem to be endings in this situation, that you guys have had to have major constant upheavals of, okay, well then it's over. So like this isn't my twin flame. Maybe we're not going to be together. And I feel like these 10 of Swords periods where you've been betrayed and you've been hurt, maybe, by your Divine Masculine, have really caused you to lose faith in this connection and feel like, well, if it's over, it's over. Everyone's telling me it's over. Everyone's telling me it's not going to happen. But this resistance to, the thing is, you have to believe in your own gut and intuition and feeling about your connection with people. Nobody else can tell you what someone is to you. But I feel like because of the 3D, like, clear endings, you guys have felt like, oh, well, that's it. It's clear from, like, my 3D view. But the thing is, the 3D view is what's kind of like this trickery in the twin flame connection, because it's kind of used to propel you into your own awakening, into your own spiritual development, but it's not supposed to be taken so literally as like an ending. It's supposed to be more of like a catalyst for you to focus on yourself and to become the version of yourself. And like, people can tell you, well, you're not like on a twin flame journey, but they might not understand all of the things that this situation was a catalyst for. It's not like the same thing as like a relationship that ends and then like you lose weight. And this is a huge spiritual awakening and uproar of like childhood wounds and things that you just get into spiritually as a result of this thing that you don't even consciously do. It's not like you're like, okay, well, I'm going to start watching YouTube videos and I'm going to, start doing energy healing, and you don't even consciously do these things to deal with the pain. It's more so that you're being called to, because this situation was the catalyst for that. So with the Six of Pentacles, I do feel like you guys are trying to establish balance in your selves and in your emotional state. I feel like you're working on a lot of the grief that this situation has brought up, maybe childhood wounds of loss. I feel like with this Ten of Swords and Seven of Swords, for this card, I'm feeling more that there was a lot of deception in this, and a lot of deception within yourself and within the partnership, and also the Divine Masculine had a lot of their own deceptions. And I feel like also there's been a lot of like looking to the future and waiting, but because I'm asking what you guys are working on, I do think you're working on sort of like this Three of Wands is sort of like watching and waiting, but from a distance. And I feel like it's sort of like this detachment of outcome that you guys are working on. So it's kind of like, you're working on being patient and being balanced, but also working through the grief and the pain. But with this Two of Cups as being my first card, I really feel like you guys are working on the partnership through working, and this is so cliche, but through working on yourselves. But, it's really important to go into, now people will say, oh, well, this person just brought up childhood wounds. They're not really your twin flame, but that's kind of ironic, because they brought it up because they are the person that is ultimately the only one that could have caused you enough pain to bring it up and to make you work through it. So it's actually kind of like an oxymoron that, if people say that to you. But it's not about resisting or being, frustrated with anyone on the outside. It's about using clues of what people say and do in this journey as clues to areas that you do need to work on yourself. So just remember that. So I'm going to do now what the Divine Masculine is working on here. My video might end up being a lot longer than usual, which feels kind of weird for me, but this is just the focus that I want to take. So what is the Divine Masculine working on right now? Strength reverse. Okay. Two of Swords. Strength reverse. The Moon. Okay, that makes sense. Ace of Swords. Okay. I'm not necessarily going to pull... Oh, okay. Okay. Empress reverse. Under the Moon. Okay. Well, that's very telling. So, in terms of this, I feel like the Divine Masculine with the Strength reverse and the Two of Swords kind of coming up together is like they have a hard time feeling strong in their decisions, and they're listening to their intuition. They feel like that's been a really hard thing. I feel like a lot of them have been very suffocated by external influences in their life, and they haven't ever really been able to rely on their own perception of things. It's sort of they're mirroring what you're going through, but the cards are different and they're taking a different route. But you guys are kind of like going separate roads and kind of coming together, which is the twin flame journey. But I feel like they're not feeling confident in their ability to connect to their emotions and to make a decision and to know which direction to go in. This Empress reverse is really interesting because the Empress is like my divine feminine identifying card, and with it reversed, I feel like with the absence of the Empress energy in their life, with them not being able to feel like they're connected to you, they're being forced to try to actually learn what it's like to not have your energy in their life and to kind of make their own decisions, because I don't think they realize how much you being in their life has like influenced them and kept them sort of in a couple things. It's kept them from having to really make any decisions because you were always like maybe the chaser as the divine feminine, and I'm talking to divine feminine, it could be a divine masculine, but you were always kind of like making decisions for them or creating a resistance that felt comfortable for them because they only knew how to like kind of push up against something. But with you removing your energy from them, it's forcing them to sort of have to look in themselves. And the Two of Swords is sort of like being at a stalemate, but it's also like being blindfolded and kind of rooting yourself in your own intuition without any external influences. Now, this is very interesting with the Moon and the Ace of Swords on the bottom here, because I feel like they're trying to uncover the truths like of their kind of like their soul, their darkest parts, and they're wanting to shine the light on the part that's been hidden inside of them for a really long time. I feel like the Empress reverse could also be a good thing because they ultimately need to become the Emperor to step forward and have this connection with you. And if they're kind of rejecting that feminine in a way, they're also trying to own more of their masculine side, because maybe in the past they've been very in their feminine. So I feel like this could be them kind of getting closer to self-actualization, especially with this Ace of Swords. I feel like with this Moon here, I don't know why I just got this feeling, but they've been very comfortable in their life, sort of having this inner world, living in the shadows where nobody really knew what their true intentions were. They never really showed their dark side to anyone. They never really revealed this Moon side of them. And with the Ace of Swords, I kind of feel like they're wanting more truth, more authenticity. The Empress is up right here. They're definitely kind of fixated on this connection in a weird, maybe subconscious way. The Empress is on their mind, definitely, because the Empress already showed up twice here. But the King of Wands reversed, I don't feel like they're going to take any action anytime soon. I feel like they're more in a contemplative state for sure. But let me just see what the King of Wands reverse here is about. Five of Swords. I do feel like there's still a major battle here. And it could be with like a lot of people in their life. They're kind of, in order for them to really be authentic, they're going to have to come up against a lot of other personalities and maybe parts of themselves that they just haven't fully integrated yet. So I am going to see what some of the, go into what the blockages are on the feminine side for the union here. Now, bear with me because this deck is not that familiar to me. And, ooh. Too many cards here, though. So I just want to see what are some of the blockages on the feminine side for this union. I'm going to pull a card here. I have Four of Wands reversed here, Four of Feathers, and Two of Wands reversed here. So I do feel like they're having a hard time getting into their own personal power, owning who they are, and owning their belief in this connection and this union. It's really actually kind of clear here because the Two of Wands and the Four of Wands reversed, for their feathers in this deck. But this Two of Wands is kind of like them standing firm in their decision making. It's sort of like they're mirroring their masculine and also standing firm in this connection and the belief that they will have this happy, joyous union. So I feel like their own resistance to believing in this connection is sort of what is blocking them on their side. So I'm going to do what's blocking the masculine for this union. The Devil. High Priestess. Ooh. Another Two of Swords here. It's a Two of Knives in this deck. It's their inability to be confident in their decision making. The High Priestess. So they know with this High Priestess, they have this intuition. They are starting to really get in touch with this. And I feel like they are going inward with the Two of Swords, but there is still a lot of negative voices, negative self-talk, negative influences, maybe codependent attachments. Maybe they're in a karmic situation. And these things are kind of their weaknesses that they haven't resolved yet. So, I feel like with the Devil energy here, they're still really struggling with their addictions or their things that they've used to kind of survive in their life. The Nine of Wands is reversed here, so I do feel like they are going to open up and let walls down, but Ten of Wands, interesting. I feel like at some point things are going to get so heavy that they're going to break and they're going to have like a final ending of a situation they're in and a new beginning. But just get one more card for the Ten of Wands here. And then I think I saw Queen of Swords here. Yeah. I feel like they really need to cut through to like the truth of things. You guys might have been really big like illuminators in their life regarding truth and honesty, and I feel like they're really scared of this though. So I feel like a blockage for them is really cutting through to the truth of everything. And Ace of Swords is here again. I just said I can't. Truth. I mean, this is just confirmation. So I do feel like they're trying to be clear and they're trying to like get through this, like the shadows of everything, but they're just, there's some fear here. And I do feel like the fear is sort of dissolving. I think fear has been a huge player in this dynamic. So their blockages, I feel like, are fear, and I feel like theirs are fear and not trusting themselves, and you guys are kind of mirroring yourselves, because I think a lot of yours are about grief and loss and not trusting yourself as well. So I feel like as you guys start to really strengthen that muscle of your own intuition, they will too, because they have the High Priestess here. So it's like they are in touch. They are also coming to a lot of revelations that they're not sharing with you. The High Priestess is very quiet in their knowing. So they are having a lot of illumination with the Ace of Swords and the High Priestess, but they're just not quite there yet. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.